And welcome while we read about Frederick Douglass. So, Frederick Douglass, he was an abolitionist, meaning he wanted to get rid of slavery, and he was a women's rights leader. He was born circa, means around 1818, and he died February 20th in 1895, which made him age 77. So, Frederick Douglass was a leader in the abolitionist movement. He was an early champion of women's rights and an author of Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass. He was born into slavery sometime around 1818 in Talbot County in Maryland. As was often the case with slaves, the exact date of Douglass's birth is unknown, though later in life he chose to celebrate it on February 14th. He became one of the most famous intellectuals at the time, advising presidents and lecturing thousands on a range of topics, including women's rights and Irish home rule. Defying a ban on teaching slaves to read and write, Baltimore slaveholder Hugh Auld's wife, Sophia, taught Douglass the alphabet when he was around 12 years old. When Auld forbade his wife from offering more lessons, Douglass continued to learn from other white children and from others in the neighborhood. It was through intense reading that his views on slavery began to take shape. His self-education was the key to his success. Self-education. He wanted that education. While still young, he taught other slaves at church services. So, Douglass fell in love and married Anna Murray, a free black woman living in Baltimore who helped him in his final escape to freedom. They eventually settled in Bedford, Massachusetts, and ended up having 5 children together in the thriving free black community that was there. 2 of his children assisted him in the production of his newspaper, The North Star. He's very famous for that. After Anna's death, Douglass married Helen Pitts, who was a white feminist 20 years younger than him. It was a really controversial marriage, and Douglass's own children were especially against it. They were married for 11 years until his death. President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, which took effect on January 1st, 1863, declared the freedom of all slaves in Confederate territory that the Union hadn't already taken control of at the time. Despite this victory, Douglass supported John C. Fremont over Lincoln in the 1864 election, citing his disappointment that Lincoln did not publicly endorse suffrage for black men, the freedom to vote, the right to vote. In 1877, Douglass visited one of his past owners, Thomas Auld, who was brother to Hugh Auld, his primary owner, I guess. Douglass had met with Auld's daughter, Amanda Auld, years before. The visit held personal significance for Douglass, although some criticized him for the reconciliation, the mending. He was nominated for vice president in 1872 and held several high offices before his death. Frederick Douglass was a man way before his time. So, I hope you're learning, and I hope you're having fun.